I can't be the only person who goes through a new Wimpy Kid book saying, "Is Rolly in this one? Where's Rolly? He hasn't had a story since book 13. Well, he appears in two flashback sequences. One page where Greg tricks him into thinking cucumber seeds are money, and a longer sequence where Greg has no idea how to behave at a fancy restaurant. I guess that's close enough to having Rolly in this book?
Argo Font Book Review, Argo Font Book Review.
Gramma is the one in charge of the family. She managed to leapfrog her older sisters in the chain of command because she makes the most delicious meatballs ever. People keep trying to steal the recipe. They're that good. For her 75th birthday, Grandma wants the family to vacation on Ruttyneck Island. She wants a photo of them at the beach house they used when the girls were teenagers. This is a terrible idea because Mom fights with her sisters all the time. Send them to a boxing match instead. Greg's family gets caught in bad traffic, so all the other relatives get to the house first. Naturally, they took the good rooms for themselves, and they're not going to trade. I don't know why this isn't up for debate. The Heffleys have 5 people. They need the biggest room. But nope, Aunt Gretchen called it for herself. So Roderick is forced to sleep in a baby crib, and Greg is forced to sleep in the living room, which doesn't work because his relatives keep using the TV. Aunt Gretchen has a pair of wild twins that don't talk much, but they know all the naughty words and naughty pictures. Aunt Cakey hates Mom for unknown reasons, and she's always starting fights. Aunt Veronica is the cool aunt who makes YouTube videos. Lucky her. I'm pretty sure my family thinks of me as the weird uncle who makes YouTube videos. Veronica's dog Dazzle is the famous one, with millions of followers. She gets the glamorous celebrity treatment everywhere. Greg is a little jealous that a dog is treated better than he is. Veronica has somehow tricked Dazzle into thinking she's a human, not a dog. I know plenty of people who treat their dogs like humans. Mom forces everyone to go to the beach. I guess Greg is bored because he starts talking about unrelated tangents like anteaters in high school, and I give my doctor Christmas cards, so I'll be picked first in a medical emergency. Greg brushes up against seaweed. He makes a huge scene because he thinks it's a jellyfish. The lifeguard ignores him. Then he gets sand in his swim trunks. He tries to get it out without anyone noticing, but now the lifeguard's paying attention, and she yanks him out of the water in front of everyone. Greg thinks the lifeguard thought he was pooping, which is gross. Even grosser is the bathroom situation in this tiny house, which was not meant for so many people. It doesn't help that all the women leave out their wet clothes. I bet if the boys did that, Mom would force them to make a pile and put the laundry in the dryer. Everyone argues when cooking spaghetti for dinner. Mom asks everyone to make a list of safe conversation topics, like pets and flowers, and that time Susan stole Cakey's boyfriend when they were teenagers. Oh, so that's why they hate each other. Out of nowhere, Dad's brother Gary shows up. It's like someone told the author he couldn't have a relatives-themed book without Uncle Gary. I like Uncle Gary, but he did not need to be in this book. We already have 8 relatives. That is more than enough. Mom forces everyone to do a lighthouse tour, even though everyone thinks museum tours are so boring. She sort of makes enemies by skipping ahead in line. Greg is scared when the lighthouse is so crowded he can't use the stairs. What a wimpy kid! Mom forces the family to play board games instead of watching TV. The games fail in humorous ways. Mom doesn't want to play a Monopoly-style game. When she's outvoted, she gets mad and refuses to participate. The family gets over-competitive with the game, and they enjoy thinking up punishments for the losers. The game goes on for a super long time. Everyone cheers when Manny officially defeats Dad. Mom stumbles out of her room at this point and dumps the game in the trash so nobody can play it again. Can I say that Mom is really terrible? She spends the whole book complaining that the family needs to have fun together. When they finally do have family fun, Mom throws a temper tantrum because they aren't playing her favorite board game. So she purposely ruins it for everyone and turns it into a long grudge. The next day, she's still so mad that she orders everybody to go off by themselves. I don't want to deal with you now. Greg looks for indoor places to visit. He tries becoming a social media influencer. He gets the smart idea of getting attention by putting Dazzle, the celebrity dog, in his profile pic. 30 pages later, this bites him in the butt when Dazzle's fans overrun the house. The adults put the kids in charge of dinner, which is a terrible idea. Like, have they met their kids before? They're forced to go out to a restaurant where a bunch of things happen. Dazzle learns she's a dog. Uncle Gary reveals Dad dated Aunt Cakey before Mom. That's why Aunt Cakey and Mom fight so much. The family steals a reservation from Mom's sort of enemies, who respond by stealing their food. A food fight breaks out, and they're all taken to the police station. The family gives up on their vacation. They go to Gramma's retirement home. It's revealed that Gramma is throwing a big 75th birthday party for herself. She lied about the vacation home just to get rid of her family members. Wow, Gramma is selfish and deceptive. That must be where Greg gets it from. Greg learns Grandma's big secret. Her famous meatballs are a fake. She gets them from the grocery store. Greg decides not to expose Grandma's lies, so he can copy her trick of using meatballs to become the head of the family. His family is so terrible, I don't know why he wants to be in charge. Either way, I'm sure Greg will pretend that keeping Grandma's secret is his birthday present to Grandma, so he doesn't have to buy her a real one. The end. Post-book follow-up. This book is fine, but I wish it went into more detail about the different family members. I kept forgetting that Aunt Audra is in the book, which shows how unimportant she is. Imagine how much better the book would be if each family member got their own chapter, instead of lumping everyone together in group scenes all the time. There are a few times where Greg ignored the story in order to talk about unrelated things for 10 or more pages. It's not as bad as it was in Double Down, but it did feel like the author had a joke about anteaters, so he shoehorned it in. I won't complain much because I did like the tangent about the TV show Is It Cake? That was funny. If it wasn't for the family stuff, this would be a typical vacation book for the series. Mom usually spends the vacation books complaining that the family needs to do stuff together, so it's not a big change for her to do this with her extended family. Overall, I liked the book. I thought it was funny, although there are some sequences I would suggest replacing because they don't add much or go anywhere, like the lighthouse tour, our Uncle Gary, and arguably the parts where Greg is by himself, which provide a little bit of a break, but don't fit in with the premise that this book is all about his hot mess of a family. I give Diary of a Wimpy Kid number 19, Hot Mess, an 8 out of 10.